Hi guys, welcome to Pod and Post, the podcast where we blend stories and lessons to help you level up in your life and career. I am your host Jenny, and today's episode promises to be insightful, relatable, and of course informative too. Our guest today is Maya Kannan, an IT professional with 10 years of experience. Maya's journey is anything but conventional, but turning down an in campus tech job to jumping into an IT role in Chennai to later becoming a seasoned IT expert. We will explore his career choices, how to pick the right job, sniff out toxic companies before you even sign the offer letter, and make your IT career sustainable. And Maya will also share a story about how paying bond money turned into an unexpected lesson. Maya, welcome to the podcast. Let's share with you who is Maya Kannan and what's your journey been like so far.
Yeah, thanks for having me here. Um, I, I started out in 2014. Um, I had a bachelor's degree, a BTech in IT. Um, so I had an in-campus offer, as you mentioned, but I didn't take the job offer because I had to move to Mysore. It was Infosys, and all the jobs had to start with Mysore. So I wasn't up for moving. One thing is language, and another thing is I wasn't really serious about taking up a job in IT sector. I wanted to be a content creator.
Mm-hmm.
So back then, content creator was blogging.
So you are explaining about the things that happened around 2014, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
So back then, content being a content creator is having a blog, and it was Web 2.0 era.
Yeah.
We were all having 2G network.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of started that way.
Mm-hmm.
So somehow finance, a lot of finance troubles,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't sustain that much, and I had to take up a temp job.
Mm-hmm.
I chose BPO because in BPO you can just get the job the next day.
Okay. So you turned down a cushy campus tech job for a BPO role. What was going in your mind when you made that call? Did your friends or family think you lost it? Lost it?
No, I no, I don't particularly discuss everything with my friends and family.
Okay.
I mean, right around these times,
Mm-hmm.
right around those times in my life, I kind of blocked everything. I mean, I wasn't that good with sharing things. I'm not the kind who would give running commentary on what's going on in my life. Still don't, even with
Mm-hmm.
Instagram and Facebook and all that. I don't particularly tell
Mm-hmm.
anything about my life. So uh, I thought I had a way with doing things, which whether it's right or wrong, I don't. I like to be spontaneous. The way I lived my life, I don't have any regrets, zero regrets.
Mm-hmm.
And in my book, a job, it should be more than. I mean, comparing a tech job with BPO job isn't fair, if especially if that BPO is very easy to get and very easily accessible. Um, and if, for a tech job, if the company is very restrictive with your location and everything,
Mm-hmm.
so it didn't make. I mean, I don't think losing out on Infosys offer was that damaging.
Okay.
Um, and I didn't discuss it with my friends. I would hear comments here and there, but it didn't affect me that much.
Okay. What did that first BPO job teach you about work, people, or life in general?
Yeah, first of all, the team was good, and
Okay.
I, I studied in a very competitive environment. But working in a BPO, I had a chance to mingle with people. I was kind of segregated right from high school.
Mm-hmm.
Now if I used to perform academically well, so people used to isolate me. So
Mm-hmm.
they would put all toppers in one class in
Mm-hmm.
high school, and the same, it kind of happens in college also.
Okay.
So I studied in one of the most sought after college. So almost every one of them in that class were toppers. So
So,
it didn't help my personal life. I was socially withdrawn.
mm-hmm.
Uh, at least in school, I had a lot of friends from other classes, but in college it was way worse. But things got better when I joined BPO, and I made a lot of friends. Some of them are still in touch even after 10 years. It was I can only think of it fondly. For the first 6 months, it was uh, I was really glad. I would be looking forward to my shifts.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't, weekends would look boring, and
Mm-hmm.
this was the time internet wasn't that affordable.
Mm-hmm.
So there are only few things that you could do to not feel lonely in a big city like Chennai.
Mm-hmm.
So the BPO kind of helped me, and but when uh, when it came to a lot of other things, now things have changed. But at the time, every company used to have dress code, like
Mm-hmm.
very very restrictive dress code.
Okay. So in your BPO also you have to follow your dress code, is it?
Yeah, most annoying thing was I had to wear white shirt every Monday.
Okay.
Um, it's not that easy to wash a white shirt again, and they it was very annoying, and there was no reason why, and people
Yeah, it
usually,
doesn't make sense.
yeah, people used to, the management and everyone used to tell they want to get, make a good impression with the client. If they want to make a good impression with the client, they'll have to do a good job at what they were doing. Or their
Exactly. Exactly.
sales team, outreach team will have to do a good job showcasing their talent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a few things about my BPO, about my time in BPO. Apart from making friends, there wasn't much learning thing to do. But my, salary somehow increased surprisingly. I was in a process where money was flowing in. I worked for Amazon, uh,
Okay.
so it was a very profitable company. So kind
So are
money
you a
was.
direct employee of Amazon
No,
or?
no, no. I worked for Sutherland Global Services. It's a BPO. They
Okay.
outsource for many clients like Amazon,
Okay.
McAfee.
Mm-hmm.
Amazon, McAfee, these processes are very successful
Mm-hmm.
and very profitable. They bring in money, a steady cash flow, and uh, I, my finance was okay. Uh, it
What,
helped
what,
me a
what,
lot.
what was your first salary?
My first salary was 10,000,
Okay.
but after 10 months,
Mm-hmm.
it got raised to 15,000.
Okay.
And then and by the time I left the company after 18 months,
Okay.
by the time I left the company, I was making around 20,000 per month steadily.
Okay.
And the next offer I had was with IBM.
Mm-hmm.
They paid me 21,000 per month, so it was just 1,000 difference between a BPO job and a
Oh
job.
my God. That too IBM, an
Yeah,
established company.
yeah, IBM is an established company, but they still give out offers that are
Okay.
20 years outdated.
Okay. 10 years in IT. If someone asks you to summarize the whole experience of working in IT, how would you summarize that?
I would say it isn't it was insightful,
Okay.
and obviously there's a lot of learning, and second thing is, and third thing is, learn a lot about urban living.
Mm-hmm.
So IT is the best way to know. I come from a small town and I was mostly put up in boarding school, but you have to understand a lot of things how about how a city works, how cash flow works,
Mm-hmm.
and IT is a place where these things happen in a very rapid manner, unlike any other sector.
Mm-hmm.
So you would know the way of the world. Um, I've seen drastic changes happen, things that I never imagined it would, and a lot of things like OTT.
Mm-hmm.
When I first heard of Netflix when I was in college, I thought such thing wouldn't, survive in India.
Mm-hmm.
But fast forward, in 2024, OTT is grabbing a lot of market share when it comes to entertainment revenue.
Mm-hmm.
So IT is everywhere, and India is a good marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, you would get to know the way of the world in IT. That's for sure. Yeah.
Okay. After you left your job in Sutherland and you joined in IBM for 1,000 rupees rise, how did your journey started from IBM and what are the companies you worked and can you give a short summarization of your other companies too?
Yeah, I worked in IBM
For how many
for
months?
2.5 years,
Okay.
and then I went and worked with a startup called IFX Technologies.
Okay. So
Uh,
from joining in IBM for 21,000 a month and working there for 2.5 years, what was your salary growth in 2.5 years?
Not much, almost nothing. There is a raise, given by default after 1 year of your tenure.
Okay.
So that would make your salary to 25,000, and I came out of the job with 25,000 per month salary.
Oh, really? Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, IBM is full of such disappointments every uh, right around every corner. And then I went and joined IFX Technologies for 40,000 per month salary. Not much of a rise. I could have negotiated more, but my project in IBM didn't help me that much. I
Okay.
was switching the domain.
Okay. What
Uh,
was your role in IBM?
it was in operations. I was working in their IT infrastructure
Mm-hmm.
division.
Mm-hmm.
So it's mostly maintaining and managing servers, and I didn't even get into some projects that had at least a decent prospect. I
Mm-hmm.
was put in operations. I had to click around the computer. That was my only job. That is the only way I could describe it.
Okay.
So mostly in server operations or server support roles like middleware, Unix, uh, database management. It was full of jobs like that. I mean, in the division that I work for, I know a lot of people working there. They're still struggling. But my major decision to switch domain wasn't because of the prospects. That is one of the reason. But the second thing, the main thing is, I mentioned I wanted to be a writer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I since the content creator economy started picking up.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought there would be good prospects for digital marketing, and there were many roles in digital marketing, so I chose one. I chose to be a data analyst, and I did a free course, did a lot of learning, and then I switched my job. The race wasn't that high, but I wasn't focused on the race. All I was focusing on was the project. Um, so that's how I landed the job in IOPEX Technologies.
Okay, so what has been the most rewarding project or moment in your career so far? And let's also hear about the biggest disaster too. What was your oh no, I can't believe this happened story?
Yeah, right after I joined IFX, I knew it came with a contractual bond.
Okay.
They told me that they would give training for the role, and it came with a contractual bond, and I didn't think much of it. And there were a lot of
With
other
four
things
years
too.
of experience in working with IT, still you have to sign contracts, is it?
Yeah, the company had a lot of companies still do. They had a very unethical practice of luring people into signing contractual bonds, and they would do it with under a lot of pretenses. So there, you know, the HR told me that I'd be signing a contractual bond for training. So that is how they projected it to be.
Mm-hmm.
But thing is, I came to know that uh, the people weren't technically that sound.
Mm-hmm.
I was new to the technology, but I had my research done properly, and I was teaching people how to do stuff around. So that was the state of the project. But the most disappointment was they told me that there wouldn't be any rotational shift, but turned out to be false, another false claim. And I asked the management why, and they were going back on, no, I didn't say that, I didn't say this. And I have a very I still feel very bad about joining IFX, but at the time, coming out of IBM was a huge thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a disaster. But 5 months into the job, I had another offer from AstraZeneca.
Okay.
So they are a very big pharma giant.
Yeah.
So I was willing to let go of my 2 month salary.
Oh.
So that was the um, bond penalty.
Okay.
So I paid off my 2 month salary. I asked them to deduct 1 month salary from my last month settlement, and I paid another month salary from my own pocket. I
Okay.
could have, but I was able to get out of it in 1 month notice period.
Oh, okay. Let's dive into your bond money story. What happened there and what made you decide paying up was better than sticking around?
Yeah, it was a matter of choice. One thing was it was very hard to get an offer from a company like AstraZeneca,
Yeah.
because if you're working for AstraZeneca, you are the client.
Yeah.
People from IBM, Cognizant would be reporting to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted it to be, I wanted badly to be on the other side of the
Okay.
hierarchy.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing is, I asked around people about AstraZeneca, and they all had very nice things to say.
Okay.
None of them had much complaints, and most of all, the project I wasn't very happy with, even though um, the project in IFX was somewhat better, but I wasn't sure I want to settle there. And yeah, so I thought, and the pay was good.
Okay.
With AstraZeneca, the pay and benefits were all good.
Mm-hmm.
So losing out 2 months salary as a sunk cost was an easier option.
Okay.
And I didn't really like how the management kind of tricked people
So, what was
with
your
IFX technologies. So it was very satisfying thing to throw things in their face and then walk out.
okay? Okay. What was your salary when you quit IOPEX?
I
And
was getting 40,000 per month. Uh,
so in 6 months you steadily got 40,000.
yeah, yeah,
Do you want to serve your notice period?
yeah. I was in probation. They had 6 months probation, but I dropped my notice um, are at the beginning of the fifth month. So I only had to serve 1 month notice period.
Okay. So how much bond money you paid totally?
75,000.
Okay.
It was slightly less than my 2 month salary.
Okay. 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 So you got an offer from AstraZeneca, the great pharma company, and what's your job offer there?
They paid me 7.5 lakhs per month. And so,
7.5 lakhs means around 60,000 a month.
yeah, 60,000 a month, and there were some variable part to it as well. But AstraZeneca had a good reputation that they would pay more than 100% of variable pay, and also plus I had many allowances, which I didn't know until I joined the company, and I felt really, grateful.
Okay. So when it comes to job offer, there is salary, the perks, the vibe. Okay. What's the most underrated factor you think people should pay attention to?
People should pay attention to how um, you know uh, the company practices in general, what kind of company they are. You have to hear nice things, otherwise you just have to number your days. I mean, I don't there are certain companies that I knew for sure I had to take the offer, but I also keep in mind that how long I should stay there. You'll have to make that decision, or sometimes it might not even be worth joining that company. So you'll have to hear nice things. So the most underrated thing is Glassdoor reviews.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Read Glassdoor reviews thoroughly, or even
Okay.
reach out to uh, someone working there via your friends or LinkedIn connection.
Yeah.
Just reach out to them and ask them, speak to them about how the company works, what kind of people they are. You can reach out to someone working in that company. They would be, I, I know for sure someone would be willing to talk to you. um, Speaking to actual person working in that company might go a long way in deciding whether you want to join that company or how long you can stay in that company. Most people don't do that. I've never done that. I mean, but recently I've made a habit of reaching out to an actual person working in that company, and
Okay.
having an honest discussion.
Okay.
uh,
So how many years you worked with AstraZeneca?
I worked there for 2 years, a
Okay.
little over 2 years, 2 years.
Okay.
So
So when you decided to switch companies, what made you leave a company like AstraZeneca?
well, obviously the pay. I know AstraZeneca was paying good, um, but right after the pandemic lockdown, economy went crazy, and people were getting offers like 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs. I know a guy who had just 2 years of experience, went out of AstraZeneca with the 10 lakhs per annum offer, and I was sitting there with over 6 years of experience. I thought I could get a better offer. I know even AstraZeneca, would give you good increments, decent amount of increments, but still, that 50% raise or 100% raise goes a long way in financially helping you. And in these markets, you'll have to earn more than 15 lakhs per annum. And I had an offer around that range. I don't want to mention my salary. And also, another important thing was remote work. And a pandemic was the time when employers opened up to a lot of new ideas, like hybrid work culture, remote work culture. AstraZeneca was strictly in office. They're kind of old fashioned in that way. But I had offers from other companies who are willing to let me work remotely, and I found one company who had good reviews on Glassdoor, and they also introduced me to the client right on the interview. So they had very good credibility. So I'm working for them. I don't want to mention my current employer and my current salary, but it's been my longest tenure in my 10 years of experience is with this company. It's been more than 3.5 years, and things are going.
So, after having an experience of working in AstraZeneca for like 2 years, and you got a remote working option, and what was your range of salary you are getting paid now? Because you are around 10 years of experience, you are staying in that company for more than like 2 3 years now. So, what's the range of salary you are getting paid now?
uh, I can tell you by range. It's right above 20 lakhs per annum.
Okay.
So that it's kind of normal for people around 10 years of experience to get paid like this. So
So, have you ever taken a job where everything is looked great on papers, but turned out to be a curveball?
um,
While getting interviewed, also, have you seen those kind of companies?
yeah, there was this one company called Condé Nast. They are also a media company, well reputed ones, but somehow uh, they got on the wrong foot. One thing was with the experience with the HR. I clearly told them what my expectations were, and I didn't even, the rise wasn't even that big. The expected salary wasn't even that big. This was uh, when I was taking interviews um, while I was in AstraZeneca. So took all the interviews, and there were many rounds. Uh, some of them were even unnecessary. And then the HR was playing a hardball with. She knew what my expectations were, but she was still going on with the trick called. Usually the HR would ask you what your fixed pay is and variable pay is, and they would try and manipulate you into thinking
They
that
give
they would
50% hike based
fixed pay.
fixed pay, and they won't consider your variable pay.
Yeah, but the thing is, I told them my expected salary in hard numbers, and there was no point in arguing. She was arguing that like they were willing to consider 50% raise, but it would be only from my fixed salary, and that was actually nothing, almost nothing. And she somehow thought that winning that argument would get me on board, and it kind of annoyed me. And second thing was, they had 90 days notice period.
Okay.
Companies that have
That's
90 days
harsh, yeah.
notice period, they do that specifically to retain you. It's very very hard to get interview schedule if in case you wanted to leave that company and you try for jobs. Most people wouldn't even take a second look at your resume.
Okay. Okay, let's talk about red flags. In your experience, what are the top three signs that scream run when you are interviewing with a company? You can, if you have more than three, we can also discuss about that also.
Yeah, first thing is I would try and get to know how the workload is going to be.
Okay. You make sure you work directly for a client, is it?
Yeah, to be precise, what I'm trying to say is I should be allocated to one project.
Okay.
So there are companies that make you work for more than one client at the same time.
Okay.
So that is one red flag. So yeah, it should be one client specific project. Second thing is it shouldn't be operational work. Even there are some product companies that makes you respond to all their customer queries, and they may make you work rotational shifts. So that is the second red flag. So it shouldn't be rotational shift. Almost any job can, if the company decides, almost any job can, demand you to come and work in rotational timing. The company can let it go, but most Indian companies won't. They just want to appease their client. The client would be working in some US time zone, so you'll have to match the timing here in India. So I don't want to work in projects like that. It would be unnecessary. You can do your job in Indian timing, but they wouldn't let you do. Um, so they would, ask you that you'll have to respond to customer queries, and you'll have to write emails. You'll have to be available during the client timing. So these kind of projects, I wouldn't take it up. And third thing is contractual bonds. So it doesn't matter what premises they're building. They would say it's training, it's for so and so, it's for expense. They can tell you any story, but contractual bond, making you sign a contractual bond, is unethical. And they are doing this because uh, it doesn't hold any value in the eyes of court. But most companies are very certain that no employee would dare to, reach out to legal help. It's very expensive and time consuming. So they still do it. uh, like if they know it's wrong, they shouldn't be doing it, but they're still doing it just because no one would raise a finger against them. So that tells a lot about the company's character and the kind of ethical policies they have. So it's kind of a red flag for me.
Okay. So, 10 years is no small feat in IT. How do you keep things fresh and avoid burning out?
Well, I would say um, I would frequently switch companies, like every year or so.
Okay.
So my first job was for 18 months, and then my next job was with IBM for 2.5 years. I could have switched a lot sooner, but I ran into a lot of issues with getting the interview scheduled and all that. Um, and then my next job was with IAPEX for 6 months and AstraZeneca for 2 years. So switch companies. That's how you increase your salary. That's how you learn a lot of new things. That's how you learn a thing or two about your project's domain. Um, so that's how it is. Every 2 years is a new beginning for me.
Okay. But you are in your current employer, you are staying with more than 2 years. Is there any specific reason you are leaning towards this company for a longer period?
Yeah, thing is, they're giving me remote working options.
Okay.
So I'm able to work remotely for this company. That is one big thing that is retaining me here. And second thing is, the current job market isn't that good, and most companies are going back on this hybrid working policy, remote working policy. So it's not doing me any favor. I'm kind of stuck here. Even though the company is great, I still miss switching the company for every 2 years kind of thing.
Okay, if you could give one piece of advice to juniors who are starting out in IT, what would be? You can also add points if it is advice you ignored when you are a younger person.
I would advise, do not work in rotational timing. It's not worth it. No money is worth it. So try and get a job that lets you work in Indian time zone, at least in afternoon shift or morning shift. But don't go for something that makes you change your timings every 1 week or every month. So that is one thing. And second thing is, if you're not that good with programming, don't go directly for non-technical roles. Try your hands in low code jobs. There are many low code uh, profiles like data analytics, business intelligence kind of thing. So try and go for those roles. Do not, directly go to BPO or any other operational works. So and importantly, switch companies when you're starting out. Do not hold yourself back. Just switch companies every year or 2 years. That is how you increase your salary. No amount of increment is going to help you. Only switching jobs is going to help you.
So you started your career in BPO and you are currently in you are getting paid in 20 LPA. What your designation now in your company? What is your designation now in your company?
I'm kind of a senior analyst.
Okay.
So I have a little team to manage. So I'm kind of a manager here. I'm the client facing person. Um, so I'm also responsible for training early professionals or newcomers. Um, so it's been like that.
Okay, and finally, what's next for Maya Kannan? Are there any new goals, rules, or adventure on the horizon?
So I'm thinking of, you know applying to jobs directly in the I'm trying to pitch my services directly to the client,
Okay.
and uh, I'm trying to be a one person company, or me, or even
Is it possible
from.
for your stream of work?
Yeah, it is quite possible. It is quite possible, and again, I think Indian job market is getting saturated. The kind of pay that I'm getting now, it won't be very, easy to find jobs again. So I'm at the mercy of my current employer. So I'm thinking, starting my own company can be the only way out. Uh, that is going to be, I mean, everyone's going to work directly to their client, with their client. That is how the future of IT is going to be. We're all slowly moving into gig economy. Uh, so your formal employer-employee relationship is going to be strained. So I'm preparing myself for that.
Okay, Maya, thank you so much for sharing your unique journey and practical advice. Your story is a testament to the power of making bold choices and staying resilient in the face of challenges. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to Pod and Post. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more such inspiring conversation. Until next time, this is your host, Janie, signing off. Thank you.